They say that French cars resemble French women. They are just as mysterious, fickle and capricious, like to flirt and make you draw attention to themselves. But at the same time, they are always well groomed and monitor their health. If all these epithets are attributed to the Citroen C4, then we get the history of its operation. The car has not been produced for more than 6 years, but the language will not turn to blame him for the outdated design. Even today, it stands out in the traffic stream with its avant-garde appearance, especially when it comes to a 3-door. The range of modifications includes 3- and 5-door hatchbacks, as well as a compact van and a sedan, which appeared in 2006 and 2007, respectively. A year later, a restyling was made, slightly changing the appearance of the model. But there were new gasoline engines developed in collaboration with the minders of the BMW concern. So they became the stumbling block of C4. But more on that later. Initially, Citroen was equipped with 4-cylinder gasoline engines of 1.4 liters, 90 horsepower, 1.6 liters, 110 horsepower, and 2.0 liters, 143 and 180 horsepower, and turbodiesels 1.6 liters, 90 and 110 horsepower, and 2.0 liters, 136 horsepower. The Ukrainian version of the hatchback was initially equipped with petrol 1.6 liters, 110 horsepower, and 2.0 liters, 143 and 180 horsepower. Later, cars with a 1.6 liter, 110 horsepower, turbodiesel began to be delivered to us. The standard transmission for Ukrainian cars is a 5-speed mechanics. A quad automatic was available for 1.6 liters and 2.0 liters petrol engines, 143 horsepower. After restyling in 2008, the range of engines was replenished with 1.6-liter gasoline 4s, 120 and 150 horsepower, turbocharged. Fans of the model certainly appreciated the originality of the internal design and the originality of some design solutions. For example, instead of traditional instrument dials, liquid crystal displays are installed, of which there are already 3 pieces in the cabin. In addition, the steering wheel hub is made stationary, only the rim rotates. And what is the cost of a regular air freshener with replaceable cartridges? Pure French charm. Dealer copies are more common on the Ukrainian secondary market. Cars brought from Europe make up a minority of the total number of those present at the secondary. Used C4 can be found in any degree of stuffed. Initially, dealer C4s were equipped with ABS with an axle brake force distribution system, 6 airbags, central locking, an onboard computer, an audio system and front power windows. There are many cars on the market with climate control, full power accessories, fog lights, 16-inch alloy wheels, etc. With restyling, along with new units, problems came. In the EP6 1.6 liters, 120 horsepower engine, the timing mechanism drove a chain that seemed to wear out. But the first signs of its stretching made themselves felt already at 50,000 kilometers. And that's not all. The sprocket on the crankshaft is planted with an interference fit. And if the central bolt loosened and unscrewed, then the consequences were very sad. The turbocharged version of the engine, EP60T, turned out to be even more capricious. If the sprocket turns a little here, the electronics will turn off the turbine. In addition, the control motor of the valve lift mechanism fails. But older motors are more reliable. The most common of them is the petrol TU5 1.6 liters, 109 horsepower. It has practically no problems, and those that were eradicated over the long years of its production. A known defect with the throttle valve has been eliminated since the end of 2006. The timing drive is belt-driven, and the service life of the belt is 80 to 100,000 km. Anything can happen in an AL4 automatic box. The valve body fails, the clutch pack wears out, the torque converter overheats, the band brake breaks and the unit jams. Mechanics is also not sugar, noisy, vibration-loaded and short-lived. And on the gear of the main pair, it happens that a tooth flies out and breaks through the crankcase. In the front suspension, the steering rod joints, as well as the stabilizer struts, serve 20,000 to 30,000 kilometers. Usually, by 120,000, one of the wheel bearings starts to buzz and the ball bearings wear out. In the rear suspension with an elastic beam, there is nothing special to break. C4 corrosion protection is not the highest. Paint swells on the hood, arches and sills after 5 to 6 years. On early cars, for no reason, the windshield burst. In the cold, the locks of the rear doors froze and the elements of the side mirrors burst. Side moldings are not securely fixed on 3 doors. And the plastic front fenders in the sun can warp. A 1.6-liter engine, 110 horsepower, is considered relatively trouble-free. In our conditions, the generator and pump do not live long. And the 4s of 1.6 liters, 120 and 150 horsepower, got rid of congenital sores only after 2008. Other engines, 2.0 liters and 1.4 liters, are rarely found under the hood of a used C4. The mechanical box, although it sins with a loose backstage mechanism, is generally quite durable. But the AL4 machine rarely withstands 100 without breakdowns. At risk are the hydraulic valve block and transformer, as well as the box control unit. There is a whole bouquet here. The standard audio system stops reading discs, the seat heating and power windows failed en masse, the windshield washer motor failed, the engine and automatic transmission electronics failed. The first to 30,000 kilometers will be asked to rest the stabilizer struts. Ball bearings are changed at 60,000 to 90,000 kilometers. Wheel bearings are updated after hundreds. A twisting H-beam does not require much cost. After 100,000 kilometers, shock absorbers and wheel bearings change. And until that time, it is possible to update the stabilizer struts. In the brake system, at first, it happened that the calipers failed, but after 2007 the problem was solved.